Hello, Internet. Tax write-offs. My name's Kaitlin, I'm a CPA, and here's what you need to know about what you can write off on your taxes. What is a business expense? Those lovely, lovely deductions. Business expenses can be classified as either current or capital. Current expenses are things that you pay for regularly or they have short-term benefit. So like nails, if you're a contractor, or like soap, if you're a dishwasher. Capital expenses are things that have a lasting benefit. So they're things that will provide you a benefit over a long, long period of time. Like a building or a dishwasher. If you're a dishwasher. When you're trying to decide the difference between a capital and a current expense, does it have a lasting benefit? And is it expensive? Now that you know all of that, you're probably thinking, that's great, but I just throw my receipts in like a shoebox and then I give it to my accountant at the end of the year and they just deal with it, so why do I need to know? If you don't know what you can deduct, sooner or later you will be. People think you can write off anything, but you can't. So the CRA uses the term reasonable, but they have specific rules about what you can't write off. One weird one is meals and entertainment. So that can only be deducted at 50% of what you paid for it. Memberships to clubs, like golf courses or things like that. Anything where dining and recreation is the main thing that you're paying for, you can't deduct that. They also don't let you deduct clothing, like at all. Well, if it's protective and you require it for your job, then totally. Otherwise, no. You can't deduct life insurance premiums unless you've used that as loan collateral for something that you bought for the business. But even then, it's limited. And if that applies to you, definitely look that up because that's tricky. You can't deduct interest or penalties for something that you did wrong. So late filing fees with the government, you can't deduct that for tax purposes. You can deduct interest or penalties if you pay out a loan early though. So that's an interesting thing to keep in mind. You can't pay yourself to maintain your own property. You also can't deduct legal fees or other fees associated with acquiring a property. Those fees need to be included in the cost of the property and capitalized. Those are capital expenses. Things you can deduct: interest on any loans that you've borrowed for business purposes, like if you bought something or you've got an operating line of credit or something for the business. Another cool thing you can deduct: little piece of your home. Yeah. So if you have a business and you have like an office in your house, then you can deduct a little piece of your home expenses like mortgage interest, property taxes, utilities, and rent. If you don't pay a mortgage, then rent. Insurance, all of those things. So you would take all of those things and you'd say, oh, this cost me like $15,000 for the whole year, and my office or the piece of my house that I use to make money is like 7% of the total square footage of my house. Then you can take 7% of your house costs and deduct them from your income. Yay! You can't use these expenses to create or exaggerate a loss, but you can carry that forward to the next year. So if you had like $100 or something left over that you couldn't use because you brought your income to zero, then you could carry that forward and apply it to the next year. So there's a similar bit in the Tax Act for vehicle use. You can deduct the piece of the vehicle expenses that you use for business on your taxes. You need to keep a logbook, for one, and you need to be writing down the kilometers that you drove for work. Take the kilometers driven for work and divide them into the total kilometers driven in the year, and you get the percentage of kilometers driven for business. Math. Take that percentage, multiply it by your total vehicle expenses, and that's the amount you can deduct on your taxes. If you'd like to learn more about anything that I talked about and you love researching tax, then you can look on the CRA's website. There's tons of stuff on there. Don't go looking in the Tax Act, mostly mumbo jumbo, and it's really difficult to read. They do have some great bulletins in there though. Great is a strong word. If you want to ask me a question, please feel free. My email is Kaitlin@kirkcpa.ca. You can send me a Facebook message or you can leave your comments below. Even if it's as simple as, hey Kaitlin, is that deductible? Yes. Or no, sorry. As always, if you have an idea for a future video, then let me know. Tax season's greetings! Whoop whoop! It's my favorite time of the year.